Well, hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. What's up, Scotty? How are you doing? How about everybody else? Has there been any response from Kabam? Lol, nope. I mean, that kind of exemplifies things, I believe. Oh, well, obviously not Saturday, so they will conveniently not respond for a while. Good day to you too. Uh-huh. Well, hello there, baby Sith. I can't believe that this thread has been allowed to stay up for so long. Da, da, da. Mohammed, but they will actively go in and delete the comments. I have been bitten God knows how many times at this point, by the way, guys. Like, everybody's biting me, which is not cool. How much energy do I have? Need to use a bit of my energy. Need to use a wee bit of my energy. Okay, I did all of these, that's fine. I need to quickly, let's drop some energy here. And you know, so, do you know what do you mean relaxing? Complete food for thought. Also a quick reminder, whoever is the gulag master of the stream, if you are present at the end of the stream, you can pick a champion to be added to the matchup spreadsheet. Ta-da! Afternoon. What's up, Ricky? I did reply to you online. I mean, of course they can do the most random shit. Probably got a lot of You started, you bit me first. It doesn't mean that it's meant to be spread further, not back. But yeah. Anyways. I have been bitten way too many times. I stopped even opening the bite. There is a great chance that Carolina might get nerfed. Yes. And I have a rank 4 too. And there is a decent chance Cal might get nerfed. I'll leave the chat and it said my suspicion with it. There you go. So that should be as simple as that. Sometimes the trickiest things are the most simple ones. Said? So yeah, don't care about all events, but do not touch Carolina. Well, I mean, like, if they touch Carolina, they should absolutely touch Carl. Or if they touch Carl, they should absolutely touch Carolina, right? Just nerf everybody. Nerf everybody that's decently good on attack, is what I say. I think so. I say nerf everything. We don't need good champions. We only need powerful defenders. Yeah, I think that's exactly what we need. To make this game more fun, I think the definition of fun is getting wrecked constantly without good offensive champions. But then a lot more people would quit. Good. I say we have too many players anyways. Just like DLL says that Spider-Woman doesn't need ensnare, I say that MCOC doesn't need that many people playing it. Kabam seems to agree with me because they're doing everything to make sure that happens though. Serpent could do with a buff, to be honest, yes. I recommend Dark Harvester to be added. Oh, I think I saw that Seeding's video. But now, I must benefit from the recall masteries while I can. See that? Nice. I need more. I actually should use some radiance for the alphas, I think. I could pick up a few more of these bad boys. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna leave myself with 500k radiance for now. Should be okay. Yeah, exactly. Why does Thanos need that much Furies though? I think it's completely unnecessary. I think Thanos is strong enough with half the amount of Furies. I think that's exactly how it should go. Oh, did somebody get Gulag for? Oh, Nico. The Awakening of Nico, I'll have to wait to see. Oh no, Nico is safe, buddy. They will not nerf Nico. I would be willing to bet $50 that Nico will not get nerfed because she's made by DLL. So yeah, I think Nico is fine. So King Shark, welcome, welcome, welcome. Wee, boop. Oh, come on, really? Because she's DLL, baby? Exactly. No, it's because she's a DLL champion. DLL could somehow convince Kabam not to nerf Serpent. I'm sure as shit he's gonna be able to convince Kabam not to nerf Nico. I believe I have been permanently banned from the MCOC Discord server for asking Kabam Troll to stop speaking to me because he would end up being timed out. Oh, I mean, I have heard stories like that as well. Like, because I think Dragonfey went off the deep end. For those of you who do not know, Dragonfey is like this, call her Kabam affiliated activist libtard person. Like every single kind of like liberal dogma you can imagine, that's what Dragonfey embodies. An attitude in the things that you support, in the things that you care for, in the way you speak. She sounds exactly how you'd imagine. So like wish all her best in life, but she's, you know, definition of a type of person that I don't particularly get along with too well. And there are Kabam discussions now about as well for a whole bunch of random people getting banned from the Discord for don't know what. Has been a response. How do I refund my money? Good, 1 second. Kabam, you guys are fucking idiots. Alright, fair enough. I'm quite sure I just recently saw the thread. One sec. Oh, it continues. Anyways, I'm 100% sure there was thread complaining about Dragonfire not too long ago. But fine. Okay, fine. But yeah, you're not the only one, YD. You're not the only one. Do we seriously need Nick Fury second level? I know, right? I think that's unnecessary. I think it's bad for the game. Guy on DC. Yeah, I think that was a comment where he was talking about like how he likes cheese or something, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And like Dragonfire banned him. So, I mean, speaking in Kabam's Discord server, unless you are actively licking Kabam's asshole, is very dangerous proposition these days. No. Gulagwa is not getting nerfed, don't worry. Jag also doesn't need unstoppable, for sure. Take it all away. Every attacker should be like Groot. Why can't I away the iWaltR? Yep. But it's over for MCOC. Good on you, Brownie. I think the whole idea that Kabam's trying to micromanage everything is a very big part of the downfall, because that's making the game actively less fun. The way how Kabam's like going after every cheese mechanic in the game and stuff like that, you know, how they want to micro curate which matchups can or cannot be done. Current phase of Psycho? Yeah, she is. She's literally unstable. I mean, okay, I got to literally unstable. I would classify her as with mental issues. She's a Kabam affiliated person. Either she's employed by Kabam or she sometimes gets contracted by Kabam, but she's also one of the Discord forum mods on Kabam's server. And she recently, seemingly, I don't know, it's probably not recently, but recently it's been brought up, has been like banning people for the most random shit ever. But, you know, in general, she has always been the type of person, for instance, who would snitch you to authorities if you were, like, unvaxxed and, I don't know, didn't observe the 6 feet rule or shit like that. And, she's the type of person who has every single cause in her Twitter bio. And who... Like, I don't know the relationship with pronouns, but I sure should know that she definitely would have, you know, felt the need to specify her pronouns meeting you in real life. I wouldn't even say Karen. She's like one of these, like, omni-cause Americans. that frequently are friends with like wild color paint dyes and, you know, hair products and whatnot. Rank 4 Serpent with rank 4 Hyperion in 35 seconds? I'd guess no, but at the very least, I'd guess that's sus as fuck. No, that's a different person. Social Justice Warrior, I would have agreed with that some time ago, but I think there's levels to it, and what she is higher level than a regular SJW. Regular SJWs are like NPCs. She's like a mini boss of the SJW game. Time me out for saying thanks, my lady. Yeah, that sounds about right. That is the type of thing that she would do. I could tell you a funny as fuck story with her that I have not. I don't think I have said this out publicly, but I do have some personal history with her because she and I used to be kind of acquaintances or decent, you know, I mean, like we're decent acquaintances at one point before I knew how wildly crazy she is. So there is a very interesting personal story on that. I don't think I have spoken about that out loud, to be honest. There are reasons like she's not smart at all too. None of them are, really. Either her depth on topics real quickly. Yep. How can we moderate the mods? You can't. I mean, you can write in complaints and make complaint posts, I guess. I remember I posted on DC forum to ban a modder. Guess what? The post got deleted? Yeah, because of course it did. Anything but cutting down a few calories? Yeah. I don't believe she was in shape type person either. So I'm quite sure there is some weight issues involved too.
Shut up and take my money.
Scott Dickroot, Lord_Apex 666, 50 South African Rand. To be honest, I am not ranking up Carolina or any of this year's champs as Kabam will screw us over. But she is my next rank 4 option if not touched.
I mean, fair enough. Like, no, I do think Nico is safe to rank up, just FYI. What important match of Spider-Man will not be able to do? Well, first of all, she can't do Bullseye anymore. She was not the best Bullseye option, but Bullseye would be kind of out of the table. That's like one thing, you know, should be significantly worse against stuff like Spider-Ham and whatnot. Oh, fuck. But it's more so about her interaction with the nodes, and also as I was trying to explain, for instance, like, okay, here the big thing is, when you are fighting against, like, because now currently in like a generic meta, for instance, she's a very serviceable Dark Phoenix counter. And she's a serviceable Dark Phoenix counter not just because she has a 30% chance to fail her immortality. It is a mixture of things, but like when you're going up against Dark Phoenix, you have a 30% chance to fail that root, so you don't take block damage. You have 30% chance to fail that Nova Flame trigger, so after her special attack she doesn't get the Nova Flame. You have 30% chance to fail that Fury, so even if you don't fail the root, if you don't fail the Nova Flame, the Nova Flames are not doing as much damage because the Fury is not active, right? She has 30% chance to fail that Nova Flame at the end that she gains with immortality stats. So ultimately, like in a generic meta right now, Spider-Man, for example, is a fairly decent Spider-Woman counter because the 30% chance adds up enough times for that fight to be manageable, and more often than not, you can finish it much better than just about any other non-dedicated counter, and even some of the quote-unquote, you know, suitable champions like Shatra. So, that's gone out of the window. Then obviously she would be worse against Serpent, because again, you did have a chance to fail that Serpent's immortality, as well as you did have a chance to fail, you know, Serpent's either true focus at times when you have to hit special attacks, you have a chance to fail Serpent's power gain, natural or after level 2. And that works in a ton of matchups, so it's not just the weight thing, it's also most definitely the ability accuracy thing. And some of those fights she'll still be able to do just significantly worse. And some of the fights like Bullseye and whatnot, yeah, that sounds about right. If you question Kabam defenders, you get thrown in. Like, she's genuinely like, you know, crazy. Like, I would characterize that woman as crazy as fuck. But okay, I still like, there is a good story that I could tell you guys about her if you're interested. You'd get a good kick out of it, I'll promise you. The Dragon Bane. Those weren't her target matchups though. I assume Bullseye is not Okoye's target matchup either. As an example, so, you know, let's get rid of that ensnare. The whole talk, like, Dragon Spider-Man does Zola, who I don't think is meant to be his target matchup. He does Photon, who I don't think is his target matchup. He does Bullseye, who I don't think is his target matchup. It's like, what Kabam characterizes as a target matchup, and other champions that you just happen to be able to do both, you know. There's always going to be some sort of overspill. Don't you think? Also, like, game modes like Battlegrounds, like, if champions can only do their target matchups, they're basically pointless. Because then it's just, you know, fucking card game. Half the reason, you know, I like this game, because it's not a card game, because we do fight. Dragonface is a nice person. She's superficially nice. I do agree with that. I do think she has gone off the deep end in recent years. 100%. Okay, we're here for the crazy outing. Anyways, okay, fine. So, yeah, she's definitely not nice person enough or often enough. Honking has like no exact direct matchups other than Fam. Imagine removing everything from his kid because, yeah, cool. But anyways, okay, fine. You guys want to know? Fine. Do any of you, like, I mean, I assume most of you know that when this game was much newer, I used to do content for money, right? And I have not made a secret of it. There's been a lot discussed. Even though I haven't done that for like 8 years now, I think, that still constantly gets brought up. Correct? Correct. When I was doing content for other people for money, like Labyrinth of Legends was like the biggest ever piece of content, I believe. at that point, and whatnot. It's like, and guess who hired me to kill Maestro? I mean, it was a fairly weird request, but I believe she paid me like a tenner to kill Maestro for her. Who? It was Dragon. Back then, like, there's more. There's more. Anybody remember that podcast she had? Like, there was this Discord server they had, and they did do the podcast, right? They used to have this, like, podcast, correct? Unofficial MCOC podcast or whatever it's called, yes. She invited me to that podcast before I had a YouTube channel, because even then I was kind of like decently known in the community, to quite literally discuss mirthing, you know, what kind of jobs I do, how to help people, like some tips and tricks to get the better themselves. But I was on that podcast for the entire podcast. That was before this whole Kabam push, you know, immersing is bad and stuff like that, because the game was much newer back then. And that's, you know, how I got into immersing in the first place. But, because, you know, I didn't think it's, like, particularly bad or anything like that. But I was a guest on the unofficial podcast, on one of the earliest ones, I think on, like, 4th or 5th one or something like that. And, you know, they quite literally interviewed me about, you know, how to get me... how to get in touch with me, it's like what type of things I do, what kind of advice I give to the people, how these things are done in general, and so on and so forth. And that was after she had hired me to kill Maestro for her in Labyrinth of Legends. Yeah, there you go. I don't think I had said that on the stream to anyone. But, you know. I remember that podcast? Yeah, you see? So I was on that podcast too. As a guest. I'm sure they would never bring me back again if that podcast still existed. But the entire time when all of them like were raging, it's like, oh, you're such a horrible human being for doing what you did. She's not the only one, by the way, that has worked for Kabam or been associated for Kabam or is currently in the CCP that has hired me to do these things. Like, all the time I was kind of like, I'll just keep out of it, you know, I'm just not gonna tell it like, but right now I'm just so jaded with Kabam and their hypocrisy and their arrogant opinions, and I'm like, fuck it, you know. Chatting with Vince yesterday. Oh, that is some. Oh, Sweeto is lurking too. The kind of person she is for Kabam. Yeah, I know. Kitty snitching openly. I mean, fuck it. Like, what's the best way I can describe it? It's not like any of those people have done anything for me that would, you know, make me want to be covering for them. And if I'm getting constantly insulted effectively for doing the thing that many of them either did themselves or, you know, took part in, so Because there were a shit ton of people who like ragged and dragged on me for having done that. Even after I stopped, like even like 4 or 5 years afterwards, stuff like that, they still shit on me for having done that. But they never mentioned that, you know, many of them did it themselves, maybe to a smaller degree, and or hired people to do that stuff for them. Yeah, keeping this for about 8 years was already me being extremely nice, much more nice than he deserved. There is more to that too, by the way. Like, anybody remember? Anybody remember how Dragon was like, she was like in charge of a group of alliances. It was like SH something, something, something. There's like a whole alliance family that effectively she was like one of the main leaders of. There was something like that, right? I actually had forgotten this. Now that I started discussing this entire thing, I kind of remember it. Nice meeting. Finished Wheel of Fate, you suggest take Bullseye or the next Titan, considering they only missed Nico and Jin. If you don't have Bullseye, take that Bullseye. Anyways, the point is, she invited me to her alliance chats with kind of like the idea for me to do content for their alliances, for her alliances, and she kind of actively sent people to me to do content for as well at the time. Not only she did hire me herself, but to I know. Seems fucked up how different paths have diverged there, I guess you'd have to say. He's basically the... And all that just because I didn't want to suck Kabam's dick. Sounds lovely, but she did actually help me make some money. You forgot how to eat. Well, that's the thing I never did. But she developed a taste for Ben and Jerry's like no other. She had insatiable appetite for Ben and Jerry's. And you know that in the midst of all of it, because it has been like going back a ton of things. Because it has gone, you know, back for quite a while. And like more of our own personalities. I think a large reason for the drift as well was because she kind of like bit in hardcore all of the, you know, liberal culture and beliefs and stuff like that, and that also kind of changed her personality, because she actually was not, you know, obnoxious or bad initially. When I kind of got to know her, she was, you know, quite decent. We were like borderline friends. Like, we get along well, and you know, we chatted now and then, and you know, it's like, oh, hi and stuff like that. And then it was, you know, as much as it was like the Kabam stuff, it was also all the real life stuff where, you know, that got injected into it. Whereas like for instance, like I don't care about, you know, God Queen story hour, and she's like, how dare you, and I'm like, oh, just don't give a shit. And that kind of like game also different parts of it. But yeah, so that's kind of how that happened. Oh yeah, Nico is definitely a gulag word. You've been getting owned in BGs? Me too. But I have owned some folks too. To be honest, like in this meta, I don't plan on playing like this meta too much. It's the next meta that I do want to play more. Please suggest 2 rank 4s? Sure thing. What are your options? Seeing Dragonfly crashing out watching the Deadpool movies. Dragonfly crashing out watching the... Why did she crash out? What'd she crash out for? Got you lucky, the Gulag Master, otherwise it would have been a Gulag immediately. I just got an error after winning my BG match. Is this another bug of Kabam? Of course it is. Which witch, Mom? What witch are you talking about here? But no, I wouldn't. She's so sensitive? She is. She's... I wouldn't call it sensitive. I would call it intolerant towards any other opinion but hers. Options are duped Spider-Man, duped Okoye, duped Shocker, unduped Onslaught, duped Cull, duped Hulk. I would, right now, I'd go duped Okoye. Probably, yeah, duped Okoye is what I'd pick. I know it's a new meta, but there's something seriously wrong with the tit for tat champ design. They pick up 3 of the right attackers. All of the defenders get smoked. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. That's why nobody's talking about Spider-Woman anymore in the Discord. She's taking them all out. Of course she has. Gonna stop to ask how you are doing? Nope, because hardly anybody typically cares, to be honest. It's a very rare occurrence when somebody actually gives a shit. Everybody cares, like, is Katie streaming? What is Katie streaming? Can Katie answer my question? Can he, like, help me with this? No, but nobody ever stops to think or ask, how is Katie doing? Oh, thanks, ID. Of the rework, who? I was live, so. Well, yeah, the drought dependency comes from Kabam's desire to...
Shut up and take my money.
Do you guys know that dust can parry photon freely? Kinda cool. But, love you a long time. Thank you, Lawrence. Love you too, buddy. If you type Dragonfly MCOC on Google 23 hours ago, there's a post. Yes, that is the one that I'm talking about. I saw that post yesterday, where basically people were complaining about how they got banned in the Discord server. Like, for the most random bullshit things. And all of them was done by Dragonfly, basically. And that is probably the post that I was looking for and got deleted. Tabii oldu.
Shut up and take my money.
Yit user $2.51. Move out of the way, Scotty. Red heart emoji.
The post is deleted, typical. Absolutely. They will never answer any useful question, but they will delete the shit out of comments and posts and threads that they don't... even if the... Whatever. Watch for 5 minutes after I get banned and Dragonfly banned 3 more people for literally nothing. Yep. That sounds about right. Should I take up my Carolina? If you want to take up Carolina, do it at your own risk, because I would bet $50 that Carolina does get touched all over again. I mean, like, I don't... Okay, $50 maybe not, but I think it's more likely that she gets tuned down or not. Brownie as a previous. Was it filled with guy framing other guy to be white supremacist? Oh yeah, that's possibly true. You can read the post below the link. This moderator named Dragonfly has banned me. Go check any of the logs in the official MCOC of me using any racist term. Yeah, like, I mean, she's gonna be the one that anything's racist. If you can say something like Snow White's meant to be white, that's racist. It's like, but the person who wrote that fairy tale said that Snow White's pale skin, that's racism. If you're gonna notice any differences in between any genders at all whatsoever, that's gonna be racist. Like, you know, she definitely right now these days is like one of those people. Like, if you don't vote Democrat, you're a racist. If you don't support whatever she supports that day, you're racist. Like, hell, fuck. If you don't support BLM but you're black, then you're racist. With blacks. Like, she's one of those people. You mind in hardcore mode? Aye. It does impact her a lot, yes. Both of the parts of Ensnare actually impact her a lot. Let me explain to you the first one with a historic precedent. Remember how Maulman used to be like top 3, top 5 skill champion? And they took away his Maulman's ability to have high damage output and counter evade at the same time. So they didn't take away Maulman's evade counter. They didn't take away Maulman's damage. The only thing that bug fixed, sorted out, was the fact that Maulman cannot have damage and counter evade. What did that do? That made Maulman borderline irrelevant. It made him like a niche champion that works here or there, but it definitely took him out of the skill top list immediately. And that is without taking away that evade counter. Right? Right. So they have not only completely taken away her evade counter, they also have taken away her ability to basically kind of permanently do the 30% ability accuracy reduction. The ability accuracy reduction also helps her do a ton of fights somewhat well or well, and beyond this 30% type thing, you can't rely on it. And here I bring up the reason when she can do, yeah, the weight counter, for instance, is going to make her not being able to do bullseye. For example, something that they showed her in her deep down. Yes, Warden, that's the same person. Additionally, that 30% ability accuracy reduction offensively is much more helpful than you think. And then the best matchup to explain it is because in general, Spider-Woman can now do Dark Phoenix quite well, and that is partially because her level 1 is quick and you can prevent, you can do enough hits for the incinerate not to trigger, but it's also partially because when she activates her level 2, you have a 30% chance to fail that route. They can actually outrange that level 2 and don't take any block damage from that, right? So that's helpful. That will save you some health. You have a 30% chance to fail that Null Flame from triggering after every special attack. So even if it isn't ideal, you still have like 1 in 3 chance not to take damage from the Null Flame. Then you have a 30% chance to fail that Fury. She gets on level 2, and if you do that, then the Null Flames do less damage. Then you have 30% chance to fail the Null Flame when she triggers her Immortality, right? So you don't take damage from that, and you have 30% chance to fail Immortality. So in between all of these like 5-6 things adding up, that matchup is doable. If you take all of them away immediately, that matchup is going to be fairly shit, and you're going to have absolutely, you're going to have absolutely worst time doing that fight. And the same goes for a ton of different fights, even like Serpent fight. She's somewhat decent Serpent counter, and part of that comes from the idea that yes, there will be times you fail the Immortality, but there will absolutely be times when you fail the Serpent's power gain buff, or when you fail the Serpent's power gain buff after he's level 2, or when you fail the Serpent's true focus and stuff like that. Right? So all of those things adding up in any difficult fight does help you out quite a bit in a ton of different matchups. So the 30% ability accuracy reduction does matter a lot, and evade accuracy reduction also, sorry, evade prevention also does matter a lot. So yeah, it is a big fucking nerf. Like, it really is. And it's not only necessarily about which matchups she will not be able to do, it's more so that the idea that she will do most of her matchups worse than she does now. And it's also about what nodes and which metas she will no longer work. Because, you know, that, for instance, Kabam puts on some sort of random evade node in the meta, right? And she goes from being like one of the best options for that meta to being completely shit. Even like right now, we have that, you know, Footloose, for instance. And she has a chance to fail Footloose. That is a massive thing, because she has 30% chance to fail either one of the two buffs. Failing even one of those two buffs often means that the opponent will not get to benefit from Rich Get Richer. Because if they get two buffs, they typically do get the power gain. If they, you know, don't have one of them, and you have a Fury and you can get Precision, you can still be benefiting from that Rich Get Richer node at the time. If you fail the Unstoppable, that automatically means you can actually go in and punish opponent's special attacks, which is huge, right? Because then you can also stop the evade with other part of Ensnare. And there will be a tons of metas, matchups, instances, node and ability combinations where that is absolutely a big thing. So it is a massive nerf. There.
Shut up and take my money.
Yodes are $5. You are goat. I like her clips. What this last days online fluctuate hike band over.
Well, thank you, Yelza. Then. Zero to give her Persona. The best thing Kabam can do is either, if they want to make her worse defender, remove Fumble instead of Ensnare and be done with it. Or number two, make sure that Ensnare works only as an attacker, or make sure that Ensnare is a pre-fight. That's it. Yeah, it's like in before, like, just watch Dracula be a Mystic Defender that has a shit ton of evade in his kit. Or something. Just watch Dracula be like a evade heavy Mystic Defender. You know something like that's coming. You just know it. But thank you, Elsa. One second, I'm gonna reread that message. But I like your clips. What was that? Fluctuate bend. I mean, there are some people who have clipped some unfortunate things that I may or may not have said at some points during streams when I was maybe or maybe not particularly sober. General is decent on attack, nothing crazy good, not awful. That's the way I see it. And be wild, how predictable. I know, right? It would be predictable. Dracula is he's not been fully confirmed, but he's coming. Dracula is all but confirmed by the synergies, also by this whole infection spreading event thing and all that stuff, so also for all the rumors. Dracula do be coming. Oh, you bitch. How dare you? I use Spider-Man both on attack and defense, so I'm not happy at all. I can kind of understand the rationale before the defensive nerf. Fine. I don't think it's justified, but fine. You know, most of the people who want Spider-Man nerfed is because of Alliance War and because of like very shitty node combinations, which I kind of get. Fine. I'd be willing to concede the defense, even though it's not my opinion. Even though I still think they did not need to touch her at all. But fine. If it was just the defensive nerf, and if it was explained properly without some of this bullshit, you know, that they're trying to gaslight us with, fine. The attack change though, and the way they are covering it, they're like, oh, we're not touching her offensively, but you know, also them citing the, you know, damage output. I think I saw this one as well. Like, the champion's damage output and defensive value comparisons are wild, and they always have been, and they have, Kabam themselves have basically said that they mean nothing, so they can't be called accountable to that. But check this out. Check this out. Kate should have gotten a buff. No? Hey, yeah. Check out damage on the destroyer. Are you telling me that destroyer has like 30-40% more damage than Kate Bishop does? So check the defender strength on destroyer. Destroyer is like 4 out of 5 defender, right? And check out werewolf. Oh, whoops. Check out werewolf. Damage 3, defense is next 4. Destroyer has more damage. Werewolf is a defender. Is a 4 out of 5 defender. Check out Jack-O-Lantern. Right. Destroyer has more damage, right? You're telling me that Destroyer has more damage than Jack does? Let's show something else here. Do you want to see something very crazy? Explain to me, how did Morbius not get buffed? He's 4.5 in damage. Where the fuck is that 4.5? Those numbers, those things do not matter at all. They do not, you know, work in relativity to each other at all. And Kabam themselves have said they're effectively arbitrary, apparently, except when Kabam decides that they're not. Bot? And let me find him. Where is Spot? There you go. Holy shit! Spot is meant to be better defender than fucking Zola. We need an urgent Spot buff. Yeah, you can't say that. How you absolutely, that too, I agree with that. I mean, so those ratings don't mean anything. They clearly don't, because they're wildly inaccurate. Last time we called it, I suspect they will change attributes as we call them this. I doubt it, but I mean, maybe, who the fuck knows. Serpent is a 7 out of 5 defender. He really is. Just a reminder, whoever is the Gulag Master by end of the stream gets to pick the new champion added to the matchup spreadsheet. Chels is still around? I don't know. That's why I'm reminding people of that. They're going to 7 this meta. It's Travis. I mean, Tiger does. You know who I do the Serpent best with? The Werewolf, to be honest. But yeah, no, Serpent's not defender. Serpent's not 5 out of 5. More than that. Oh, fuck me. Fuck me. No, fuck you. Sometimes AI is the best defender, exactly. Sometimes to win any Battlegrounds match, you just need, you know, a good AI on defense. Shattering the shot man and Spiral just need good RNG. I thought most of the people using Spiral against me for Serpent in this meta against me have failed with that. Yeah, Shatter is fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine. Tiger, you know, it's like a regular AI can always fuck you up. Kushala again is decently doable fine, but yeah, I can fuck you on. Oh yeah. Towers can be very, very good against Serpent. Captain Marvel is 5 out of 5. But that's accurate. That is all as it should be, buddy. We. No strippers. Also, the witch is good for him. Safe. What witch? I think mom goes to the gulag. You just can't resist yourself. You think saying the witch is safe, but it's not. It never has been. And you know that. Fuck you. And that will change your time. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Too many people sleep on Diablo. I don't think, like, I mean, Diablo is kind of cool. I always kind of liked him, but, you know, unless he gets help from some artificial buffs and stuff, or there's like a very good reason to run, he's just not quite good enough. Look at that loser champion. I mean, it's good for Alliance War and Arena. Oh, what? Yes? Bye. Ja, så kan jeg nog reduce costing. Es tev pēc tam parādīšu, viņi abi maksā, viens bija 8 eiro. Tātad vislētākos visā. Es tev šodien sev nopirku. Mēģini, jā.
Hello.
Bye. Aha. Push. Ciao. Alright. It looks like I have some guests over, so the stream's probably over in a second. Mēģini, jā. Nu saki.
Kāpēc tu dienā neatrauc? Tas nav smieklīgi, es kā ieraudzīju, man gandrīz šoks bija.
Nu, viņa man pierunāja, un arī viņa uzdevuma.
Nu, viņa tev daudz ko pierunās.
No, but that's... Oh, my wife's in trouble. My wife's in trouble. Because my wife got tattooed like a couple months ago, and she was hiding it from her mom, and she let it slip, and her mom saw the tattoo today. And now we're all in trouble. Anyways.
Anyway.
But yeah.
Upsi.
Jā.
Nu, viņš man, es jau pateicu. Oh. To visiem.
Labi. Very good, very good. Anyways, is y'all here?
What?
The upper, no, it's on the back. Un prasīja, kur tetovējas. If so, why your mom see it? Because they were clothes shopping today, and she pulled off her jumper. Yeah. She was just changing her clothes and stuff, and she forgot that she has like a low top on. Yeah, it's because like both of them went shopping. So yeah. Can you bust it? Saprotam. Because that's an S. So yeah. So yeah, now we're both in trouble, I guess. I'm delete us actually. So okay, who we're adding is Yold that's still here. If he's not here, then I'm just gonna go. Alright then, I'll see you guys later. Maybe. Bye-bye. Hello there guys and welcome back to